Hello, everyone. Well, I'm definitely not set up for this, am I? This is kind of a very important broadcast. We've had a lot happen today. Of course, it's the 28th of November. Hello, everyone. I want to get started right away because I want this to be official on here so you can see it. I don't know how many of you have been going and checking out the Q posts, but this is what's coming now. I want you to see this because what's occurring here is the deep state has realized that this thing has really taken off, and now they're trying to basically character assassinate this whole thing with Q. Let me see if you can see this. I don't know if you can, but right there is they've changed this. This is where you would find there are other places, but this is the calm before the storm area. And I want you to look at this. Do you see the swastikas on there? Somebody has made this. You have to go to this site and read it, but you see there what it says? Let me see if I can get a little better. It'll say Heil Hitler right there it's on your left. You see that? The swastikas? And it's all through the Q documents now. Now, these, you have to understand how this all works if you haven't done it before. This isn't the real Q, okay, because the real Q had a trip code and a password, and this isn't coming from him, but it's somebody trying to poison the entire Q thing by saying it's a Nazi movement. And I'll just read you the very beginning of this. It says it has. Let's see if I can do it where you can see it. Like, I didn't even set up my studio because this is so crazy. This is serious. This Scott Anthony and I've just had a real quick exchange on this, and I just decided I had to put this up. Okay, so this is basically following the Q format. It'll say all of this Q information here. I don't know if you can see it. The Q map and all of that we normally work with. Let me see if I can bring this down. I don't know how well you can see it. Let me bring this down just a little bit. Okay, and there we are. Some more of it there. You can see happy hopping with eyes wide open, and all of these swastikas on here that are now attached to the spots where we would go and find the Q documents. And these are probably still the Q documents, but somebody has copied all this and loaded it in there. But the trip codes are definitely not the same. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, okay, so it's not archived anymore, but you saw that, right? You see all the swastikas and stuff on there? Let me read you what it says because this is really important. You know, this is definitely the deep state, the CIA, Antifa, OFA, probably Obama, and it goes along with a lot of other things that are happening here in the last few hours. So this is what it says: as swastika, swastika, we are undergoing the restoration of the Republic of America. Swastika, swastika. Now, this is not Q. Okay, I'll emphasize that again. It's not. It's somebody trying to sabotage the Q information to make it look like, well, this is who they really are. Okay. And then it goes on, it says, military, Navy, intelligence, the NSA, the Q group, and more have conducted an unprecedented Python approach of the one Jewish pedo ring to rule them all. They're, okay, anyway, it goes on. I won't go through the whole thing, but it has Heil Hitler there. You saw that, Heil Q. And so people that now are catching on to the Q phenomenon, when they go there and they see this, they're going to go, oh man, wow, this is way off. You know, the Antifa's right. You know, they really are crazy. You see what it is. It's an attack. It's a sabotage on the Q documents and on everything about that. I just wanted to show you that. It's very important that you know. I've taken screenshots of some of it, and I'll probably put those somehow in this. Maybe, I don't know exactly how that'll work with the live stream, but I'll figure out something, I'm sure. So very important. They're now attacking Q. They're not just talking about it on the sidelines. They're actually putting things, the deep state, whoever they've got doing this is actually putting this stuff onto the Q site for disinformation, for propaganda, lies, accusations, misinformation, character assassination, all of that. They're now doing it to Q. Okay? Extremely important. I had to bring that up, and it was so important that I get that up quick here in case something happens to that, so that you all would be able to see it. Now, a couple of other things happened today. Everybody should know now about the North Korean missile launch, okay? I mean, that's significant because there's a lot of indications now, as a lot of us have been talking about, and Q being the one who, he didn't really start this, but he brought it to the surface for more people. And that is, well, that North Korean launch might be a distraction against all the stuff that's happening to the deep state and to the Democrats and to the Rothschilds and all of that, but it still doesn't matter. The point is that North Korea and the CIA are the same thing. Is what this has been going on. Okay, yeah, like Brian Tucker just said there. So the CIA is now striking back. You know, as I said the other day, Trump went after their drug labs in Afghanistan and some other places. They shut down the Syrian rebels. They've gone after the Saudi money so that, you know, they're not getting that. They're not getting the Saudi support anymore. All of these things have been attacks on the CIA. So the CIA and probably people like Obama, some of this is conjecture, but I think there's enough circumstantial evidence that I can at least approach it this way, that Obama, Hillary, of course we know the Clintons gave the nuclear stuff to the North Koreans a long time ago, have been using North Korea at kind of building it up for their little use later on, and we're starting to see that now. So the CIA, which is part of the Obama thing, the Hillary thing, the deep state thing, all of that, yeah, of course North Korea is a distraction, but they can also cause a lot of damage. Okay, so that's just something to consider. Definitely a problem. Okay, definitely a problem. And of course, missiles aren't the only thing that could be a problem from them. But the real issue here is, of course, that the CIA, the deep state, is reacting. What else happened today? Well, it wasn't just today. It's over the last few days. And I was going to mention it yesterday, but when I did my my regular recording that I do, but I decided not to at the time because of time constraints and some other things. But if you're watching the news right now, you're starting to see that the mainstream media is starting to attack Robert Mueller. Mueller, however you say his name. I've heard it said both ways. Clapper called him Mueller, Bob Mueller. So I'll just go with that. Anyway, the point is that it may really, in fact, be a sting operation, as we've conjectured, and especially in some of my presentations here. I haven't trusted Mueller all the way. You can't. Honestly, you can't trust him all the way. And even if he's on Trump's side, you know, there are so many things that can still happen. But when you see the MSM start to attack Mueller, they're getting that information. The CIA is telling them to do that. I hope you understand that. The CIA, which runs the mainstream media, saying, well, you know, Hillary, you know, now all this stuff starting to come out about, you know, Clinton Foundation. We've had the guy testify to Congress. There was McCullough, who was the inspector general for the intelligence communities, and he was telling about all these things that Hillary had done that endangered the nation, that what she did were felonies as far as the handling of the evidence was concerned. Not just Article 15 stuff in the military, but real felonies. So, and they threatened him. Apparently, Obama and Holder and Hillary all threatened this guy if he kept going down that line. So he made that information available to us. There's, of course, the situation with the FBI informant on the whole thing with the Clinton Foundation. That's going forward. A lot of things are happening right now. So I wanted to get that up real quick and to say this is going on and to alert you all. If you can get on 4chan and anybody asks you now, you'll have the ammunition to say, no, it's obvious that this is deep state, CIA, those guys trying to poison the information that Q has given out. What does this really do, folks? And Scott pointed this out. I know I always talk about Scott, but like I said, he's an excellent investigator. And he said, you know what this really is? This proves that what Q is doing is absolutely true. They wouldn't attack Q like this if it wasn't true. So this verifies the entire Q map the entire thing, which is it's really crazy when you think about it. If they hadn't done this, the question would probably still be in many people's minds, but somebody's really scared. Somebody's really worried that they're losing their grip, and they were willing to go here to try to shut it down from reaching, the rest of the population, getting more people involved in looking at it. Okay. All right. Let me see if there's anything else I should mention. I should have written a little note down, but I was so intent on getting down here and getting this done right away. So I didn't even put my lighting. Lighting's not too bad like this, is it? I always think I have to use the soft box and the side lights and all that. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm trying too hard. That could be. Of course, it's still daylight, and I have the window open to get some light in So maybe when I do these things in the dark, Some say Q is AI. No, I'm not saying it can't be assisted by a computer, but no, I haven't believed that from the start. No, there's a genius involved here. There's an absolute genius and somebody who's very good at intelligence, information, codes, decodes, disinformation, authentication codes like I talked about yesterday. No, this isn't a computer, but they're very, very smart people. And at least one in particular is a genius. Okay, absolutely. Okay, let me see if there's anything here that I can answer real quick. I don't want this one to be long. I get in a real bad habit of that. This person is an idiot. Who's that? I'm not going to attack thinking that you're talking about me, because last time I did that, they were actually talking to somebody else. Okay, so I don't know who this is. All right. Hi, Brandy. Nice to see you. This looks like it's slowing down 8chan. Yeah, well, I heard something about it. Benjamin Fulford. I'm sorry, I don't give him much credence. I'm sorry, I just don't. There's too much stuff with him that I just can't. I can't. Nothing against him. I just don't follow him. Okay, I don't even look at his stuff. And there's some others I don't, but that's not an attack on them. I just don't have a fuzzy feeling for those particular ones. That's all. Okay. Okay. Now, trusting in the Lord. Okay, that's true. That's true. Watching the signs. Yeah, watching the signs, trusting God. We're supposed to watch for the signs. We're supposed to be aware of these things. We're supposed to make ready. And I'm not going to get into a long, talk about the concept of the rapture and all that, because I definitely have a different concept of that than most people, primarily because I've studied the Hebrew in it so long and the Greek. So, I look at it entirely different. Frankly, this awakening that's going on right now is really how things are explained in the Old Testament, in Isaiah and Daniel and Ezekiel and those types of things. So, I don't want to get into that part of it. The important thing here is that we're aware. We're supposed to be aware. He who's been warned, you must warn his neighbor, right? That kind of thing. I put out the deal here the other day from 2 Chronicles, right? Where, all of these things where we're supposed to be watching and observant is important. Watching the times, signs of the times and those things. Because you don't want to be taken unawares, right? And God might solve all your problems for you, but then again, he might not. A lot of this is on us. The end result is on him, but a lot of this is us standing up to the plate and doing what we can do. Okay, that's really an important part of all this. Okay, I thought there was Mexico. Somebody said, well, there's a lot going on in Mexico as far as ISIS and the drug trade and all that. Of course there is. Of course there is. And they're trying to switch these things to different parts. But the point is that Trump and some very good people are after him. And it's a big job. I mean, it's dangerous. The CIA and the deep state is really probably the largest nation, if you were to call it a nation, with all the assets that it has. It is the largest and the most influential, most powerful nation that's ever existed. Okay? The thing is, though, is that Trump does have command and control, by and large, of the world's most lethal military system, and that's the United States military. Okay? Absolutely that. But there's a lot going back and forth right now. A lot of deception. We don't know who the white hats versus the black hats are necessarily. By their fruits you shall know them. I've always said that, right? How do you know this guy's good, or how do you know that guy? By their fruits. Okay. And sometimes they can deceive you with those, but they can't do it all the time. And eventually they're going to mess up. Okay. I don't want this to be any longer. It's already 15 minutes. Thanks, everybody. I'll see if I can put some screenshots of the account there from Q up so everybody can see it. But if I don't, just forgive me. And we'll be back later, okay? All right, thanks a lot. Out here.